Welcome everybody. It's Talk to Me Tuesday. I'm your host, Taj, the Mindset Coach. Today I have lovely guests, Crystal and Dana. Welcome ladies, so glad to have you on the show today. So today we're going to be talking about Maybe It's Me. But before we get into that, I picked the both of you because I know how confident you both are and how our relationship started. So I want to talk about that a little bit. Tell me where that confidence come from and how has that changed maybe from your younger years till now? Dana, you can kick us off.
I think my confidence comes from my environment growing up. I've always been surrounded by, a family network of strong Black women who were faced with so much challenges, but never gave up. So I think that's where it's instilled from. And also the struggles that I've overcame.
Right. And especially how it transitioned from younger years till now?
Yes.
So you find yourself more confident now, or the confidence just has changed?
So I think my confidence has matured.
There we go.
When I was younger, couldn't nobody tell me nothing. I was not approachable at all. So I think that as I've grown, I've learned how to use my confidence in a way that it's not aggressive, in a way that, still allows me to do what I got to get done. I don't have to be aggressive. I can still be approachable and just a little bit more humble.
Okay. How about you, Crystal? Where does your confidence come from, and then how has it transitioned?
Well, actually, my confidence comes from my husband, because I was very introverted, very, very quiet, I would say low self-esteem, but he has, his encouragement, and I guess he's kind of like my psychiatrist or whatever, or my, give me a little kick in the butt. And, he lets me know, ain't nobody better than you, you know what I'm saying? And,
Right.
that I am, I'm not, where I look down on people, but I have a lot of worth, you know what I'm saying? That's how I walk in the room. I know my worth. So that he brought that out of me.
Oh, and that's great. So you're saying like earlier in your years, you were more introverted, more quiet and not so, okay.
People walk over me, a yes ma'am. And that's like, not to cuss on your show, but.
No, you go ahead and be real, like this is my show. And I get that. And so for me, I want to say my confidence just comes from my childhood. I don't know if it was aggressive. I mean, I definitely didn't put up with anybody treat me any kind of way, but I definitely think I was approachable. I think a lot of people could come to me and talk to me. I mean, that's kind of how I got where I am today. People always felt like they could reach out. And I think a lot of that not only had to do with my upbringing, right? My mom made me feel that not only could I be anything, but she also let me know that I wasn't better than anybody, right? So you treat the person at the top the same way you treat a person that may be at a lower position in life at the moment. Everyone is treated equally. And it made me very open to everyone, no matter what the situation was, whether it was a money thing, a looks thing. And that's the biggest thing with us as Black women, right? We treat, sometimes I'll say, we treat each other according to these things that we were told as far as our looks. Look, we're on this show, we're dark skin and light skin, right? Or body types and things like that. And confidence plays a huge role in our lives, throughout our lives. So that's why I asked you about how has it transitioned from younger years till now? Because a lot of times when you're confident, right? Like I will talk about Dana, since you were the one that was, hey, can't nobody tell me anything, right? Sometimes that gets taken as we're too prideful. Right? We have this air about us as Black women, or even in the corporate world. So not even just in your relationships with spouses or friends, even in the corporate arena, we get labeled as, what's that, the Black girl attitude, or those kinds of things. How do we work through that? How do we make it so that we're confident, right, to be taken serious, but we're yet approachable, so we're not deemed too prideful and people don't want to work with us or even support us when we do start, venturing out on our own? How do we manage that?
It has taken a lot of work for me. It has taken a lot of work. but I'm very approachable, but people do know you cannot mess with me. There will be an aftermath if you mess with me. And that's not often, but I definitely want to I relate to everybody. So one of my colleagues was like, Crystal, you can go from the trap house to the White House.
I love it.
Yeah, I can relate, but I'm not going to let anybody take advantage of me. And especially in profession, you just cannot. You have to advocate for your clients and let nobody bully you. Even if you're wrong, I'm still going to advocate for you and be strong. You cannot be a lawyer that's weak. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. I don't have to hit bull, but I'll let you know I'm not playing with you. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just what we have to do. And I'm not afraid to be labeled as the angry Black woman. If you step on my toes, I'm going to be that woman.
Doug, I definitely understand. And what about you, Dana? Because I know you're going up the corporate ladder in your arena too. So how do you manage that?
So I want to say about 2 years ago, I was managing this property, and I had HR come in. They said they were just there to do, a visit. They're in town, they're coming by. But I noticed they stayed at my property for 3 days. At the end of the visit, they came in and we had a session, and I was told that I need to work on the way that I talk to my staff. That it was too direct. So I was very kind of in my head, like very defensive, like, I treat everybody with respect. I'm very understanding. Like, I talk to people the way that I would want to be, talked to. So I didn't really, I was defensive for like the first couple of days. I had a chip on my shoulder. But as I began to really dive in and think about it, I said, they're only trying to tell me something to make me a better leader. It wasn't, and this was a Black woman talking to me. So it wasn't like someone else telling me that, oh, you an angry Black woman. It was another Black woman looking me in my face and said, you might be a little too direct. And one thing that she told me was to be mindful of my audience and who I'm talking to, and to talk to them the way that they best receive it. So to think slower, or to talk slower, and to think slower before I deliver my message, that has helped me, I want to say 1,000% in my relationships in the business world, as well as in my personal relationships, my family relationships. So just being mindful of my audience and who I'm speaking with, in the way that I talk to them. Because I think that my confidence is portrayed in everything that I say. It's not more so like a defense. It's just my assertiveness, like 1 + 1 = 2.
And that makes a lot of sense, and I love that you said that, because sometimes we think confidence is just the way we feel in our heads about ourselves. But real confidence is in behavior. It's how you make other people feel by your actions, the things you say, how you represent yourself, right? It plays a lot of, it has a lot of factors into just who you say you are, but then who people see you as, right? So for me, I know, especially in the corporate arena, I say more so than anything, I'm way more friendly, right? I'm over the top on how I interact with, whether it be my team, whether it be a manager. I make sure to just be on top of the high at all times, because I know when those moments come that are challenging, the other Tajah is gonna sit at the table, right? And I want you to be able to understand that we have a problem, but I don't have to curse, right? I don't have to become this angry Black woman, but like Crystal said, you're not gonna mess with me, right? I'm not gonna be bullied into a situation or fearful to speak up for myself. So the attitude certainly shifts, but it doesn't have to be, again, aggressive and unapproachable, but I'm serious. So I think that's the way I notice to manage it, especially when we're dealing with a different client, right? Like that person on the other side maybe isn't a black woman or a black man. So the situation becomes different, and you don't want those things where they say, oh, you're an angry black woman, or, you know, you're excited, or the certain verbiage they use when they talk to us, right? So that is the confidence that I'm talking about, like how we manage and switch to that and make it so that we're not too prideful, right? That people can come to us, and whether it be, especially in relationships. So let's shift it a little bit. I know we're talking about corporate, but how does that confident Crystal, that confident Dana deal with your spousal relationships? How does that work?
Well, me and my husband, we're very strong-minded. So it's unique. It's funny. If you see us together, we're not arguing, but we're not just going to let each other talk to us in any type of way. We're kind of crazy. So yeah, like I said, I get my confidence from him, my strong-willed. A lot of people say that I am the female version of my husband.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, he gets it. My husband has known me since I was 9 years old. So he definitely gets me. He knows me. He kind of knows what I'm doing right now, even though he's not here. You know, so doing, but he like, oh, I know you hungry. You know what I'm saying? He just really knows me. So yeah, that's all I got to say. But I wanted to go back to make a point about what I've learned to do. No response is a response. Response is a response.
There you go.
It's like I have to have the last word, you know, especially in the, like, you know,
good point.
Now I don't respond. Or if I'm going to respond, I respond in about 2 days to an email that was kind of adverse, or, you know, that one that makes you say, who
Right.
You know, I take a few days to think about it because I don't want to respond. Yeah, I'm a Gemini, so it's two sides to me. So I don't want to respond in that other side. So I just take a little break. And then I come back to it and write a professional email, a professional response. But I let them know I'm not the one, but in a professional way.
And that's what I meant. Yep, that's the perfect way. And I love that you said that, because I'll go back to what Dana's point was earlier about it not shifting the confidence, right, but maturing, because that's a mature piece, right? When you realize no response is a response. Because I do think we all can say that you always wanted the last word, or not even just the last word, right? Sometimes it could be, I always got to address what somebody said or thought. I always have to tell my side. And sometimes it's like, you know what? No, I don't. I'm going to let whoever think whatever they think, because it doesn't matter. I know my side. You understand? And that's, so I love that you brought that up, because it's very true. That's a maturing part of confidence. So now, go ahead.
Relationship, especially in your marriage, you don't have to respond. You have to argue about everything. Just let it go. And like I tell your marriage, you know, you're not always going to like your spouse. Like I don't always like my siblings, but you know, so I still love them. It ain't gonna be perfect, but for the most part, it's good.
I think that's true. I mean, I think that's a big point too. And not even just whether you like your siblings. Sometimes you don't like yourself, right? When you have those moments with yourself where you just like, you know, you lazy, Taj. I know I have it, because I keep talking about losing weight, and guess what? Who's doing nothing to make that happen? Me, right? But I'm doing a lot of things on the other end. So it's almost unreal to believe that you would like someone all the time when you don't like yourself all the time. And that's that part of confidence that I like to talk about, right? That maturing that Dana spoke of. I know, Dana, you want to say something. Go ahead and add your part.
I'm listening. I'm taking it all in. But like Crystal said, her husband is really like her biggest cheerleader and has helped her build her confidence. In my relationship, my confidence was a major, not like, I guess my confidence, I can do it all on my own. I got this, like, regardless of being you don't work out, I'm gonna be good. That's how I had that mindset for the first 2 years of my relationship. When I was able to, you know, get the chip off of my shoulder and able to listen to, you know, critique and understand that it was coming from a place of love, and that it was only to make me better. And when I was able to get that, to mature in my confidence and to allow someone in so we can build and be better together, that's when my relationship got stronger. And I'll tell you, when I'm out in the world, I'm like, you know, super mom, super businesswoman. But when I come into this house, this is my zen, my relaxing place, because I can take off that cape and I can let my shoulders down, and I don't have to be that fight, against the world. Dana, my man is here. He got this. Like, we're together. I don't have to be so abrasive and so confident. I can just relax and enjoy my family and enjoy my partner.
Yeah, and
because we have each other.
I made a post about that on Facebook the other day, because when I'm around my husband, I act like a toddler.
Me too.
I stomp my feet. It's sad. It is. If I don't get my way, I'm just like,
Yeah.
That's me,
Yeah. So, and I think that comes from having trust in someone. Once I was able to fully trust and let him in, I was able to enjoy the rewards of just, trusting someone and having that support and that partner, and just be like, Wusa, like, I'm all right. I don't have nothing to prove to nobody,
Right. You can lay yourself down, right? Like you said, you can just put your shoulders to rest, and now everything is better. You can accept all the beautifulness that life has to offer, and you're right. So now, ladies, what I want to talk about is, so we talked about, the confidence, and then how we try to make sure that we adjust it so we're not deemed as prideful. But in those situations where things come about, like Crystal, you talked about maybe a work email that's bad, or Dana back then when, high school eras when you were unapproachable, nobody could tell you anything, right? Do you ever look back and now use that confidence to be accountable? Do you ever look back and be like, man, maybe it's me?
All the time. I always evaluate myself, because I'll be out of line. Something like you say, you need a break from yourself. There are sometimes I sit in my car in the driveway because I need a break from me. You'll see it on Facebook too. I'll be like, Crystal's getting on my damn nerves today. I need a break from her. But yeah, absolutely.
What about you?
I think that I look back at situations, and sometimes I wish that I would have realized that it wasn't all about me, and that every situation doesn't have to be 100% designed to please Dana, make Dana comfortable, be enjoyable. Sometimes it's about other people, So I think that in high school, or, in my early 20s, if it wasn't something that suited me, pleased me, benefited me, was comfortable to me, I was not interested in it at all, and to the person, the place, whatever it was. So I think once I opened up my mind, it became a little less selfish and a little bit more selfless. I became more approachable and more understanding of things. If that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. I want to say now, again, going back to what you said, Dana, as far as it maturing, is I find myself now able to go to situations, right, that may have ended abruptly or ended in a way I didn't like, whether it be friends, whether it be family, work environments. I will assess the situation, right, and my role in it, and then I have been able to be big enough to go back to that person or that situation and see if they're, we can talk about it. Now sometimes, like you said, Crystal, when he's like, Taj getting on my damn nerves, maybe we can't talk about it. Maybe it has went past the level that we can't fix it, right? But at least I think in my head, I realize I will go back to a person and say, hey, maybe I shouldn't have said it that way. I meant what I said, right? But maybe it could have been different. It could have been in a way that we could talk about it. We can connect with each other and grow from it, opposed to, oh, it's done, right? Because Dana, just like you, I think that's the Sagittarius part in us sometimes, where I'm just like, I'm good. You know what I mean? If we never talk again. And then I had to grow up out of that, right? Even in my marriage, being able to communicate better, right? Not so loud and just like, oh, if it's whatever it is, if it's not what I want, I don't care. It's that growing with each other and learning that we on the same team, right? So that means we gotta be confident with each other, but then also bring that down, like you said, and be able to communicate with one another. And it's a hard thing to do when you're so different, but we have to learn how to, again, make that confidence and transition into not being prideful so that people can approach us, especially our spouses being Black women. You know, it's a trying situation, and a lot of times I think that stems from the fact that we don't have a lot of healthy representations of what that is when you're in your marriages, right? Or you're in your relationships. We don't see it often enough to mimic it. And then the representation we see is on TV or movies, and that's not real either, right? So we have to figure out what that thing is for us, but being accountable enough to address, oh, you know, I need to check myself because it's me, right? And I think we all can do that. Absolutely. Go ahead, Chris.
And not only that, being that I work with so many people, I have been able to notice that maybe someone is going through something. So something may have come off from them that is not necessarily me that they're mad at. Right. It's something going through. So then I'm able to, you know, come to them like, I know you didn't mean to say that to me. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, kind of talk to them and find out. And they're like, Crystal, yeah, I am going through a little, you know, situation. I didn't mean to come. So having those conversations instead of me just shutting down or, you know, just saying, I don't want to deal with it. Come pick up your file or whatever. And get I have learned to understand that everybody's going through things. I go through things, but I try to separate that from my business. But I mean, it's still there when I'm going through some situations. And especially when we're texting back and forth with people, sometimes that can go all the way left. So I just pick up the phone and say, I don't texting, talk this out, because your tone in these, you know, you got capital letters. So that means you're trying to buck up, you know, so having those conversations and understanding we're not perfect. Other people are not perfect. And especially during this pandemic, people are going through a lot, and we have to have be humble.
That's absolutely right. I mean, and I think this is a crucial time for it too, because not only are people going through things because of the pandemic, I mean, just like in the health sense, but also you're stuck at home. So your interaction is less and less, and it's driving a lot of people crazy. And the communication just via internet or via text is getting lost. We have to get on these Zooms, because even though you feel like, you know, we're not in person, I feel like we are. Like we're connected because I'm seeing your physical movements, I'm seeing your face. Those are the things that count, and I think, you know, we just have to tap in more, and especially as Black women, I just know that we are great at being confident, and it's a great piece of self-esteem that we need to have, right? Because in this world, you will be taken for granted, and you will be treated as you allow people to treat you. But so we must have it, but we must be able to counter it with not being too prideful, not being too boastful, not thinking my way is the only way no matter what the situation is, and being receptive to other people that love us, that tell us about it, right? Because you have people that check you about yourself. I know we do. We have, look, I have several friends, and Crystal, for you, I bet it's your husband, right? Like, hey, you tripping right now, right? Bring it down some notches. So that's the key, to, you know, make sure you have those people in your corner who bring that out of you, right? Who you can trust. Like Dana said, when you can trust a person to hear what they're saying because they want the best in you, even if it's not someone you know. You were talking about your HR person, right? How she came in and she was able to let you know, I think you want to do it this way. That's what we want. We want to be able to create those spaces where people can tell us to help us, right? That's what you want. Okay, ladies, you know, as we talk about confidence and how we make sure that we adjust it so that we're not prideful, do we also have enough confidence to not only be accountable, but then to reach out for help, right? To discuss our feelings and to lean on others, maybe like coaches, mentors, or therapists, because we also know as Black women, that's not something that is deemed great or okay in our culture. But, you know, us as professionals in the corporate arena and as entrepreneurs, do you feel confident enough to reach out to get that support?
Absolutely. I'm really, really big on mentors whenever I'm going through something, because I'm a solo practitioner. So whenever I'm going through something, I lean on them for, I'm not afraid to have a phone call and say, hey, this is what's going on. What do I do? Especially because, I don't want this to affect my mental health. It has affected me. Stress has affected me physically. I was hospitalized due to stress. They thought I had a heart attack. So I'm like, when I need help, I'm definitely going to reach out. And my people, they definitely pour into me and, give me advice on what to do, or just tell me, Crystal, it's time for you to step away. Just don't think about it anymore. Just take some time out. Sometimes you got to come and get me out of my office, because I pretty much live here.
Right.
So you have to pull me out of here and say, hey, it's time to take a break. And this is the way you handle that situation. So never have pride to let people know that you're at a weak point. You know what I'm saying? Because the hell out, get you a group of people that's going to really truly support you 100%, and be transparent with them, because they're going to be transparent with you. So we help each other out. Because being Black women in a position of power can be kind of daunting at times. So that's my take on it.
What about you, Dana?
I agree with Crystal, but I think it's very wise to have multiple mentors for different areas of your life. When it comes to business, I have a great mentor. When it comes to, the spiritual or relationship wise, my mother is my go-to. So I think that it's really important to, just have a group of, people that you can just, call up when you need to, get advice or to unload. I think that's very important, and don't be prideful. Take the pride away, and just be you, and be open, to hearing, because you're always not going to hear what you want to hear. So I think it's to be open to hearing the opposite side, critique it, and taking it and using it in a positive way.
And I love that you said that too, because a lot of people don't think that. A lot of people think when you have your mentors or your friends or your spouses, family, that means that everybody is cheerleading for you. And I mean specifically in the sense that you're going to hear what you want to hear. No, that corner should be your realest feedback ever. You know what I mean? You should be able to hear it, and it's that constructive criticism that's going to work for you, that's going to make you feel better, right? You want people in your corner that challenge you, that push you to be better than you even think you can be. So it's important to not look at those things and say, oh, they ain't tell me what I want to hear, or I already know I'm great, or this, that, and the third. You need to surround yourself with people who see past you. So I definitely agree that mentors and different functions of your life are important, like you said, because we deal with different things. Sometimes it's a mom support group, right? It could be spousal. It definitely can be religious in the faith. You need that as well. And then even as you're tackling your corporate arena or your entrepreneurship, you need mentors. And we have to speak of that more than anything. And like people know, I'm the mindset coach. Come to me, talk about how you're battling confidence with being prideful. Are you being accountable? Are you looking and reflecting on situations within yourself as well to say, maybe it's me. Maybe I do need some help. Maybe I do need to reach out and get a mentor, or connect with the mindset coach, or talk to my friends and really let them know what's going on. These are the things as Black women we need to do more of. We need to be more open, because sometimes we get tripped up in confidence thinking that means I gotta have it all and deal with it all. No, confidence means also being vulnerable, being open to situations, being honest with yourself, and most importantly, being accountable. So that's what this session was all about. I thank you, ladies. Have a good evening.